One landscaping project on this list can cost thousands of dollars and leave your yard looking almost exactly the same. Another asks you to pay good money to remove something that may already be one of the most valuable features on your property. And number one is the worst kind of waste, because the project can work perfectly and still solve the wrong problem. So I'm ranking 7 landscaping projects by how easily the cost can outweigh the actual improvement they create. Let's start with number 7. Number 7, lots of small decorative upgrades. This is probably the easiest way to spend a few $100s without really changing the yard. A couple of new pots, solar lights, decorative edging, a small fountain, a garden ornament, maybe another little plant for that empty corner. None of those things is necessarily a bad purchase. The problem is when the budget gets divided among 20 small things that are all trying to improve the yard independently. You can spend quite a bit of money and still end up with the exact same underlying landscape, just with more stuff in it. If the goal is visible improvement, I would usually rather put that money toward one change with enough scale to matter. A larger tree, one substantial container at the entrance, a useful seating area, or simply improving one part of the yard you see every day. Before buying another little upgrade, ask, will this actually change how I experience the yard, or am I just adding another object? That is why this ranks 7th. The individual purchases are relatively small, but they add up quickly. Number 6, replacing healthy, mature landscaping just because it's old. A mature shrub may not be exciting anymore.
Yeah, you definitely have to go.
It has been there for 20 years. You have looked at it 1,000 times. And sometimes that familiarity makes replacement feel like improvement. But if the plant is healthy, appropriately sized, and contributing useful structure, removing it can mean paying twice. You pay to remove the mature plant, then you pay again for something new. And what replaces it may be 18 inches tall. Now you have spent money to trade 20 years of maturity for 3 gallons of potential. If you're new here, I'm Nick. I studied horticulture and landscape design, and on Garden Guru, I help homeowners make practical yard changes that create a visible difference. Of course, old does not automatically mean valuable. A plant that is declining, badly placed, damaging circulation, or simply wrong for the space may absolutely need to go. But age by itself is not a design problem. Before removing good mature landscaping, ask what it is already providing: scale, screening, shade, structure, or a visual anchor. Sometimes the smarter project is improving around the mature plant instead of starting over. Now on to number 5, expensive plants in the wrong place. A $300 specimen plant does not automatically create a $300 improvement. Put it in the wrong conditions, and it may struggle. Put it in the wrong location, and nobody notices it. Put something that matures at 10 feet tall beneath a 4-foot window, and you have also purchased years of pruning. Price cannot fix bad placement. And this is where I think homeowners sometimes get distracted at the nursery. The unusual plant feels like the upgrade. But the real value comes from whether that plant does the job the space actually needs. Does it provide the right scale? Does it fit the light and soil? Does its mature size work there? Can you actually see it from the places that matter? A relatively ordinary plant in exactly the right location will usually contribute more to the design than an expensive specimen fighting the space around it. So spend for purpose first, rarity second. Number 4, hardscape you don't actually need. This is where the numbers can get serious very quickly. Patios, walkways, retaining walls, large fire pit pads, extra paved areas. Hardscape can absolutely improve a yard, but it is expensive, permanent, and difficult to undo. So I would be very cautious about installing it simply because an area feels empty. Maybe you think you need a second patio at the far end of the yard. Before pouring concrete, put 2 chairs there for a month. Maybe you want a walkway across the lawn. First, watch where people actually walk. And if you are considering a large, entertaining patio, ask how many people normally use the space, not how many people might come over twice a year. The expensive part of unnecessary hardscape is not just installation. It also consumes usable space and locks the yard into a layout. Whenever possible, test the function before paying for the permanent version. On to number 3, screening the entire property for privacy. Privacy is one of the most valuable things landscaping can create. But sometimes homeowners solve a very specific privacy problem with a very expensive general solution. One upstairs window overlooks the patio, so 25 evergreens get planted along the entire property line. Now you have purchased 25 plants, 25 planting holes, years of watering, future pruning, and a green wall that may take up more space than you expected, when maybe the actual problem was one sightline. Before buying a full privacy hedge, stand where you actually spend time. Sit at the patio table. Look out the kitchen window. Stand near the fire pit. Where is the view you genuinely want to block? Sometimes 3 well-placed plants, 1 small tree, or a short section of screening does more useful work than planting the entire boundary. Screen the problem, not automatically the property line. That can save money, preserve space, and often create a more interesting landscape. Number 2, landscaping that creates its own maintenance bill. The installation price is not always the real price. Some landscaping keeps charging you after the project is finished. A shrub planted where it has to be cut back several times every year. A thirsty planting scheme that requires constant irrigation. Large displays of annuals replaced every season. A formal hedge that only looks good when it is regularly clipped. A feature that requires cleaning, servicing, or winterizing. None of those is automatically a bad choice. The question is whether the ongoing cost is worth the benefit to you. Because maintenance costs show up as either money or time, sometimes both. This is one of the reasons I like designing around mature size and site conditions. When the plant naturally fits the space, you do not have to constantly pay, literally or figuratively, to force it to behave. If you want help thinking about your yard before spending money on it, my free guide, 5 Yard Design Moves That Fix Almost Any Outdoor Space, is linked in the description. The best landscaping investment often keeps getting easier as it matures, not more demanding. And now, finally, number 1, solving the wrong problem. This is the landscaping project I think has the greatest potential to waste money. Here's why. Everything can go exactly according to plan. The installation can be beautiful. The contractor can do excellent work. The plants can thrive. And you can still end up wondering, why doesn't my yard feel any better? Maybe the yard felt empty, so you bought more plants. But the real problem was that there was nowhere to sit. Maybe the patio felt exposed, so you installed privacy along the whole fence. But the real problem was afternoon sun. Maybe the front yard looked unfinished, so you replaced all the shrubs. But what it really needed was one stronger tree to balance the house. Or maybe you built an expensive patio because you wanted to use the backyard more. But the place you actually want to sit is 20 feet away under the shade tree. The project worked, it just answered the wrong question. That is why, before I spend meaningful money on a landscape, I want to diagnose the problem as specifically as possible. Not, this yard looks bad. Instead, what exactly feels wrong? Is it scale? Privacy? Shade? Circulation? Maintenance? A lack of purpose? One distracting feature? The more precisely you identify the problem, the easier it becomes to spend money on the thing that will actually change the yard. Because the most expensive landscaping mistake is not necessarily paying too much, it is paying for the wrong answer. So before starting another landscaping project, I would ask 3 things. What specific problem am I solving? Will this create enough improvement to justify the cost? And what will this ask from me 5 years from now? Spend where the change will actually matter. Preserve the mature assets that are already working. Test expensive ideas before making them permanent. And make sure the project solves the problem you actually have. Well, there you have it. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep getting your hands dirty. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to Garden Guru, and I'll see you in the next one.